Yeah, so good morning, everybody. You gotta smile anyway. Yeah. Oh, something wonderful. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Thank you. Something wonderful. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body. I can feel it in my soul. I can feel it in my heart, and I won't let it go. Oh, something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. All this love inside, we can let it shine. Something wonderful, oh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. All this love and all this love inside, we can let it shine. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a holy hush around us. I see love in every face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place.
Surely indeed, presence of spirit, the presence of God, the presence of whatever we personally call the divine is in this place, right here, right now, within, without, all around us, all around the globe, all around our beautiful planet, our country, all countries. We see and know and feel the presence of spirit. We let our lights shine today. We allow all wonderful blessings to flow in and to flow from us. For we know, as we are aware of this light that is us constantly, without falter, as we are aware of it, it brightens the lights all across the globe. We are thankful for this day in these bodies, alive, able to share our love, our presence, the glory of being spirit in the body, now and always. and in our own way and in our own words, quietly or out loud, we say thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you.
Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. I can feel God's mighty power and God's grace. There's a foliage around us. I see love in every face. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place. So many promises and doubting Thomases. You gotta reach out and find your own inner strength. All the sweet distractions try to cause a chain reaction. What you need is a call to action right here, right now, right here. I'm staying true. I'm the one who's gotta walk in these shoes. I'm staying true to let the real me shine on through. The power of intention is not a new invention, but it's the best way I can chart my own course. There are no obstacles that are impossible. I've got some miracles all mine, all mine, all mine. I'm staying true. Yes, I'm the one who's gotta walk in these shoes. I'm staying true to let the real me shine on through. I don't fear the challenges any longer, 'cause I know they only come to make me stronger, stronger, stronger. I'm staying true. Yeah, I'm the one who's gotta walk in these shoes. I'm staying true to let the real me shine on through. You wanna sing it with me? I'm staying true. Yeah, I'm the one who's gotta walk in these shoes. I'm staying true to let the real me shine on through. Come on again. I'm staying true. Yeah, I'm the one who's gotta walk in these shoes. I'm staying true to let the real me shine on through. Shine on through. All right. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Hey, what time are you performing next week?
It's 7:30-ish, 8-ish, 8:50, between 7:30, 8:40, 15. I'll send a note. Y'all come by if you can. Riverfront night. Love y'all.
Well, good morning, Unity. Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning?
Awesome. Well, it's really great to see all your beautiful smiling faces this morning. Everybody's so happy looking and shiny on this beautiful Sunday morning. Well, my name's Kelly Thompson, and I serve as Vice President on your Board of Trustees. Don't get too excited. It's really not all it's cracked up to be. Why Kamala is so excited about getting a new position now. Well, we want to welcome everybody this morning. We also want to welcome all those who are joining us via Facebook or online. Don't forget to smash that like button and drop us a comment. Let us know you're there. And don't forget to share us with your family and friends, because you never know when somebody's going to need an uplifting message, right? No matter how you showed up this morning, if you're here in person or if you're online, we all know that we're connected in oneness and divine love. So is there anybody here new this morning? Anybody for the first time? No? Okay. Well, moving right along then. Normally, of course, we do our blessings for those that come in, that are new. And one point that we always make is, we appreciate and we behold the Christ in you. That Christ in you refers to that spark of divinity that is the same quality of being that Jesus found and brought forth in his ministry. And that was his teachings, to make us realize that we had the Christ in us, just as he did. Unity was founded by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore back in the 1890s, so it's just been a minute. The Unity movement is based on discovering the spiritual truth. We emphasize the practical, everyday applications of spiritual principles, and to help everyone live more meaningful and abundant lives. We started out as a positive, practical approach to Christianity, based on the teachings of Jesus, of course. Today we combine those teachings with other ancient wisdoms, as well as modern scientific and psychological principles, to give people the tools to create happy, healthy, and inspired lives. Unity puts an emphasis on personal growth, living consciously, and making a positive difference in the world. We welcome you wherever you are on your spiritual journey, and as a spiritual community, we are committed to serving people of all races, creeds, colors, faiths, and traditions, sexual orientations, and political affiliations. It is our hope that we are here to ignite the flame of spiritual transformation and spread the light of love across communities and beyond. So now is a time in our service where you guys can get up and sort of fraternize, give everybody a little love with a fist bump or a hug or a smile, a wave, whatever you feel comfortable with.
It's like bad digging a storm. And if things go down much steeper, even mine will pay these bills. Time will show you now. People gonna be okay. The storm's never gonna stay. It just shows us how bad we need each other. How bad we need each other. Trials of the day, they are signs along the way to remind us how bad we need each other, how bad we need each other. Now I can get so high, I get so high myself sometimes. I keep on.
Can only do what I can do, right?
Backhanded.
How's it going? Good to see you. How hard should I hit this? Like, no?
Needs more cowbell.
Yeah, more cowbell. You guys like this? You're starting to mind really well, though, guys. You're getting it down.
Pablo's dog.
That's awesome. Yeah, we got a new one. This one just didn't grab your attention. I like that though. I'm just gonna sit up here and bang on it. Get a drum set. All right, everybody feeling good now? Feel the love from up here. It's awesome. Well, this morning we have a very special guest speaker, Reverend Bronte Colbert. Reverend Colbert was ordained by Bishop Barbara King at the Hillside International Truth Center in Atlanta in 2001 and by Unity Ministries Worldwide in 2022. She's a founding member and recent chair of the Interfaith Clergy Partnership of Greater Athens. Recently retired as senior minister of Unity of Athens, where she served since 2004. She is now focusing on guest speaking, giving diversity workshops, and her writing. She is a poet, a fiction and nonfiction author, and a frequent contributor to Unity's printed booklets, plus website content at unity.org. She loves the mountains. Thanks for being here. The beaches, hiking, and the joy of being alive. That's awesome. And we love that she's here with us today. So please join me in welcoming Reverend Bronte.
And good morning. Yes. Let's start out up here, and I'll probably be all over the place, just like with my notes. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. I'm just absolutely delighted to be with you this Sunday morning. I had such a lovely drive in from Athens. I was like, okay, I'm going to leave the house at 5, and it was just perfect because I got through all the Atlanta, no traffic, and up the road, and it was just the whole drive was beautiful. So thank you for having me. I'm delighted to be here. I've mentioned a couple people, and someone actually remembered me from 20 years ago after I graduated from Barbara King's ministerial school. I was doing some guest speaking then, and I was up here maybe 4 or 5 times. And in fact, one time I brought my little dog. He's no longer in his body, but he does visit me from time to time. A little Shih Tzu named Mr. Pancake. And they said it would be okay if I brought him to church with me, so we sat, and somebody was kind of watching over him, and I gave my talk. And they had some kiddos, and the kiddos came and did a circle, and without me giving him any kind of notice, Mr. Pancake saw the kids. He jumped up, little bitty guy, and he went and sat down right between 2 of the kids and looked up like he was going to get a kid's blessing too. So it was just like that brought back to me today. So we are going to talk about our spiritual journeys, and if you wish, and think about perhaps ways that we can stay aligned and what to call on when we feel out of alignment or when things are going on in this world. Every once in a while, maybe you notice things are going on in this world, and sometimes it takes me a little longer to get back to center than normal, and sometimes it's pretty easy. So I have a few tips and a couple stories to tell, and there's some sheets that are out about I thought I had one up here too. You know, Unity has 12 powers, 12 spiritual powers, and we're going to talk a bit about the power of will. Thank you. We've got one extra one over here. Why don't you keep that? I'll grab this one. So let's start with this. This is a meditation, but if you want, we can read it together. You don't need to go deep into meditation unless you want to, because everything's always optional, right? This power of will is approached in many different ways from different people. I was rereading this week a book by Genevieve Reverend. If you haven't heard of her, she's absolutely fascinating. She lived in the early 1900s, and she studied under Thomas Troward. She was the only person that had a one-on-one learning experience with Thomas Troward, who was one of the founders of New Thought. He was living in England at the time. She didn't have the funds, and she didn't have the way to go there. She really wanted to be his student, and he said he wasn't going to take any students. But just reading this book and seeing how she willed with the exercise of using your will to make everything fall in place, including the $20,000, which she needed beyond her normal income to make that trip and to stay in England. And back in that day, I did the math on it once, 20,000 then is about equivalent to probably 200,000 today, or right in that range. So it's Behrend, Behrend. And her exercise to understand will was to take a container with 50 things in it. It could be a matchstick. I used marbles when I was doing it. And she just sat down, got into a state of meditation, thought about what she wanted, which of course, we talk about a lot in Unity and New Thought, to visualize what you want, to focus on what you want versus what we don't want. And she would sit there and say, I will to will, whether it was this trip she was trying to do, the funds, or to be accepted by this incredibly wonderful teacher that was quite the loner. And she would sit there and move one of these things from one place to another for only 10 minutes. So she timed it. Can you almost, just doing that, I can kind of feel what it felt like when I did that on my own practice. She'd say, I will to will. I will to will. 50 times with whatever 50 objects for 10 minutes. And all these things helped fall into place for her. We also talk other ways about the spiritual power of will, including what is on this sheet. So if you'd like, we can read it together or look at it while I'm reading it, starting with my spiritual will. My spiritual will is the energy of confident living, decision-making, and determination. My power of choice helps me stand strong and resilient when I feel challenged. I am able to respect the preferences of others while maintaining my own healthy boundaries. I'm going to pause there a minute. Isn't this a beautiful way to handle any kind of seeming discourse in the world? Just focusing on our own boundaries and respecting others. Going on. I make decisions that are grounded in my positive nature and expect them to unfold with perfect, joy-filled outcomes. When we say that, we've got to go, joy-filled outcomes. You want to do that? Joy-filled outcomes. Okay. I notice and appreciate synchronicities and sacred moments that are filled with the unmistakable presence of God. Think of that. Unmistakable. I mean, we say, oh, God's everywhere present, and, I'm God, and it's in me, and it's out there. But that unmistakable, to me, that just goes down to the core. It goes down to the root. It goes down to where I might not be remembering that unmistakable presence of God. Go on. My mind, heart, and inner being recognize and rejoice in the infinite possibilities life offers me. From an elevated spiritual view, I make choices that are life-affirming and growth-oriented. Always, every choice we make, life-affirming, growth-oriented. And then the affirmation to close it out. I move forward with confidence as I consciously choose each step on my path. Choosing each step on our paths. I was on a path this week. There's a beautiful lake about 10 miles from where I live in Athens. It's in a state park called Sandy Creek, and the lake is Lake Chapman. And it's too big for me to walk around in one day, so it's a good size, but I do a lot of walks around the outer rim of it, usually from the beach to the area. There's like a boat launching area. I used to get my kayak in the water there. It's currently in dry dock. Another long story. So the other day I was there, and I parked my car by the beach, and I walked about 1.5 miles to the docking area. It's a place where trucks and cars can pull up to put their canoes or their small boats or their kayaks into the water. And I was sitting there just admiring how beautiful and serene it was. Then I saw a boat pull up. It was a little different than the others. It had sort of a squared off box type area in the back of it. It was a little bigger than a kayak or a canoe. And an older gentleman, no, wait a minute, he was about my age, so he wasn't older, pulled up the boat and got out of it. And then I saw that he had 2 dogs in the boat with him. One was a little black dog. And they were kind of happy to get out of the boat and running around. Eventually they came up and said hi to me. He didn't, but the dogs did. The other one was, I believe, a Labradoodle with that curly, wonderful hair. And it was a beige color from its shoulders up. From there down, it was a muddy brown color, so I knew he was playing in some mud at one point or the other. So they both came running up to me, and I'm petting them. I didn't talk to him. And I thought, well, it's getting close to the closing time for the park, and if you're not out of there at 8:30, they, say they're going to close the gates, and your car right there. So I better head back to the beach. Well, the dogs ran from getting off the boat. I think they peed, and they went up to his car, which was back away, and he needed to bring it down to the water to get his boat in. And all of a sudden, I hear them running, and they took off, this big dog and this little dog, and went running past me down the trail headed for the beach, right? And I'm like, well, first of all, they're supposed to be on a leash. And second of all, he's over there. Did he actually see that they left the area? I was way off center by this point. And, okay, well, maybe they'll just go a little way. Maybe they've done this a zillion times and they know exactly how far to go, and then they're going to go running back to him just as quickly. So I'm going to mind my own business and just keep walking because I do need to get back to my car. And I walked maybe 3/4 mile, and I didn't see him coming to get the dogs. And I didn't see the dogs turning around to go back to him. So then what happened? I started worrying, right? Worrying that, gosh, they could go down in one of these ravines, or one of them could go this way and one of them could go that way, and how is he going to find them? And if he has to get in his truck, I did a very disciplined worry action. I think it was like an outline maybe, with things to check off. And then I thought, maybe he doesn't even know they're gone. Maybe I should go back to him in his truck and tell him that his dogs ran away. And I said, Bronte, that's really silly because he has 2 dogs and I'm sure he knows they're not there anymore. So I said, I'm just going to go back to my car. I'm just going to hope everything's okay. I'm going to try to get my mind off. But then I heard some dogs barking in the woods. And I thought, oh my goodness, maybe they ran into a coyote or something. I don't know. And so we're just going to leave that there for now. And I'll tell you the result of all that in a bit. Put it all on hold. Because sometimes we do worry, and sometimes we make missteps, and sometimes we make mistakes. In Unity, we teach there really are no mistakes. There's error thinking. We don't believe in sin. It's called missing the mark if you're new to the teachings. And I love that. John O'Donohue is one of my favorite poets. And they've started putting a little more things up online from him. And if you ever want to, if you want a copy of this, you can take out your pocket copy or your phone and take a photo of it before you go. This short poem is called Journey of the Soul. One of the qualities that you can develop, particularly in your older years, is a sense of great compassion for yourself. When you visit the wounds within the temple of memory, so even though this is an essay, there's the poem, the temple of memory, you should not blame yourself for making bad, quote-unquote, mistakes that you greatly regret. Sometimes you have grown unexpectedly through those mistakes. Frequently in a journey of the soul, the most precious moments are the mistakes. Wow. Have you ever thought of that? Your most precious moments are mistakes. They have brought you to a place that you would otherwise have always avoided. You should bring a compassionate mindfulness to your mistakes and to your wounds. Endeavor to inhabit the rhythm you were at that time. If you visit this configuration of your soul with forgiveness in your heart, it will fall into place itself. When you forgive yourself, the inner wounds begin to heal. You come in out of the exile of hurt into the joy of inner belonging. John O'Donohue, excerpt from his book Anamkara, the 25th anniversary edition. And the dogs are still missing, aren't they? Okay. Okay, are they going to show up? What's going to happen with them? So I think one thing we can do when we're feeling missteps or misguided is we don't hear any guidance, is to ask for it. Okay. I was driving to Unity of Augusta a couple of weeks ago, and I've just started this I'm very focused on the health of Mother Earth and being aware of what I put in the trash and everything. I've just started this whole composting program at home because in Athens they have a county-run composting area where you can actually do it very easily. So I keep all my apple cores. Actually, I throw those in the backyard because the deer love them. And now one squirrel eats them too, so I don't even know about that. Anyway, so I was in the car driving to Augusta, and I'm eating an apple. And it was a wonderful apple. And I got down to the core, and I'm thinking, okay, now what should I do with this core? And it was kind of a rural area, not a lot of cars around. I said I could wrap it up in a napkin and take it home and put it in the compost bag when I get home. I could wrap it up in something and wait till I get where I'm going and maybe put it in. It's a very complicated thing with one core, okay? It's just, nobody can tell me my mind is busy, right? So I'm going through all these different versions of what to do with the apple core, and I thought, at home I just throw it off the back deck. And I thought, are you thinking, I said to myself, of throwing this apple core out the window of your car, Bronte? And I said, yes, I am. Mental voice, do you know if it's still illegal to throw things out of your car? And the mental voice didn't give me an answer. I said, well, okay. So I kept driving. I was probably going about 50 miles an hour, and I said, universe, this is going to be fine. I'm going to throw this little old apple core really hard so it goes into the grass on the other lane because it would have to go across the lane. And I got ready, and I put that window down, and I took that apple core, and I threw it as hard as I could out that window. And I guess because of the driving at that speed and some breeze outside, that apple core, it was, if it hit the window, which it didn't because it was down, it bounced off that airstream, hit me on the side of the head. And this is the absolute truth, and it just happened, and fell on the floor of my car. I don't know the spiritual meaning of all that, but I do. Because I laughed and I said, okay, God's in the car with with me. Okay, Spirit's all around me, and thank you for that. And it gave me a funny story. So here we go. And the dogs are still missing. Yes. Thank you. Yes. I didn't even have to whistle for it, did I? Thank you for that, because I had not tied that in to everything else. What is your first name? Sheila. Sheila, thank you so much. I'm going to make a note of that afterwards. So, when we're trying to stay centered, no matter what, when life is going on all around us, and some of it is level, and some of it's in tracks, and some of it's unlevel, and then sometimes we just don't stay centered. Probably all of you watched a little part of the Olympics because you couldn't not watch it because it was on for 2 weeks, or maybe you heard about it. My favorite part, and I watched quite a bit of it, besides the swimming, my favorite part is the gymnasts. Because I love them, and I love their stories, and some of them have gone through so much. And the vault is so scary to me. And I know I've been on playgrounds with my grandkiddos when they were younger. They're 12 and 10 now. And when they'd have like a balance beam at the playground, which was just like right on the ground, like a wooden thing. And I would try to, see, I can't even do it without it. And it would be like, wow, how in the world do they get up on that balance beam, which isn't on the ground, it's way up, and it looks kind of rounded on top, right? And not only are they just trying to walk across it, they're doing flips and trips and jumps and, and all of that. So as I was watching, and Simone Biles, of course, is just amazing, I kept my mind on Jordan Childs quite a bit, because I know she had been through a lot. This was before if you were following it, the not getting the medal and getting the medal and all that back and forth. But my heart was kind of with her. And I think she was the first one in that particular group that got up on that balance beam and slipped. And I'm at home going, ah, even though this was recorded and probably happened a few hours before that. I sure couldn't put her back up on there. I was like, what can I learn from this? Why does that bother me so much, for one thing? Besides the fact I would never get on that thing, even with, people holding on to me. What is it that's bothering me so much about that? And I just kept kind of playing with it and kind of thinking about it. And actually the announcers told me why. Because they kept saying, as they were talking about the different techniques that the gymnasts use and how they learn, and how, even one sometimes slipping and falling, it seems like it's contagious, even though I'm sure they're trained to go beyond that. But they said, one of the things to remember is to not look down, to keep your eyes on the end of the balance beam. And doesn't that make sense? So when we are wanting something in life, or trying to go somewhere, or on our way somewhere, are we looking down? Are we worried about how slippery or hard that might be? Or are we keeping our eyes and our focus on the end of the balance beam, like a light, like guidance? So perhaps if there's something in your life that you are moving toward, or maybe not right at this moment, but things come up now and then that you really would like to do. I mean, we have all these wonderful teachings that show us that we are magnificent spiritual creatures. We've got God, Spirit, whatever you want to name that divine ism, with us all the time. Helping, guiding, leading, holding on, making us realize we don't need forgiveness, strengthening us, putting not only good things in our path, but like we mentioned earlier, sometimes things that feel like mistakes that turn out to be the most amazing opportunity that you could have. And how can we remember just to keep our eyes on the goal, on the end thing, on the object that we truly, truly want. James Allen wrote the well-known book, As a Man Thinketh, which has been republished a zillion times with all the new wonderful gender labels. As a woman thinketh, as they thinketh, as she thinketh, as everyone thinketh, as kiddos thinketh. This is what always called to me from that book, and maybe can work that into that idea of the end of the balance beam, which of course could continue into other balance beams, and the dogs are still lost. He said this: the greatest achievement was at first and for a time a dream. The oak sleeps in the acorn. The oak sleeps in the acorn. The bird waits in the egg. And in the highest vision of the soul, of your soul, a waking angel stirs. Dreams are the seedlings of realities. And he went on, dream lofty dreams, and as you dream, so shall you become. Your vision is the promise of what you shall one day be. Your ideal is the prophecy. Your ideal is the prophecy of what you shall at last unveil. The prophecy of what you shall at last unveil. Are those dogs still lost? Myrtle Fillmore, most of you probably know, co-founder of Unity with Charles. Incredible woman, wonderful writer. Very interesting relationship, and my favorite story about them is, Charles, known as Reverend Charles Fillmore, he got a lot of mail. Now everything was, we pick up now and do mass texting and everything. They did a lot of mail back and forth. And as his books and ideas came out, more and more mail came in. And it was said that in his desk he kept these, ink dip pens then. He had all these different size nibs in his desk drawer, and all different colors of ink. And when a letter came in from Mr. Charles Fillmore, he would get out one of those nibs and the appropriate shade of ink, and very carefully, after the R in Mr., he would slip in a little S. And all the mail would go to Myrtle. And I read somewhere else that she knew very well what he was doing, but she just would go ahead and answer the letters. My favorite quote from her, and it goes right with this. All of us sooner or later come to the place in our development where we are no longer satisfied to go on living the old life without knowledge of our oneness with God, the source of our being. Sometimes when we reach this point in our soul's progress, we do not at first know just what's taking place. Have you ever felt like that? I think it's felt kind of, what's going on here? That feels kind of scrambled. Can't see the end of the balance beam. We may become restless and dissatisfied. We may go through experiences which we do not understand. We may even be tempted to think that our good has gone from us. But as surely as there is God, the one presence and one power, we shall find that we are but going from one room, as it were, into another, larger and lighter room. Stepping from one room into another. I think of this when I think of my eventual transition from from one room into another, but it's also as we live, right? One experience into the next. How would you like to do that? Would you like to watch the end of that balance beam? Ask for guidance and receive it? Oh, the dogs are still missing. So I was getting closer to the beach, and we'll wind up. And I knew I got to get my car and I got to move out. And it was maybe just a block or two in this 1.5 miles away from the beach. And I heard some noises in the bushes. And I kind of moved aside. And all of a sudden, that big dog with the muddy bottom and that little black dog came tearing through the trail toward me. I thought they would maybe stop and say hi like they did when they got off the boat. But oh no, they were whipping around. They were running so fast back in the direction of the dock. And I thought, oh, he must have taken his truck, driven up to the beach, found them, and told them to do that. And I thought, that doesn't even make sense. And I thought, okay, well, maybe they're trained to do that every single time they come here. There's a certain marker up there somewhere, and they know they can go absolutely. I said, no, Bronte, it doesn't make sense either. I said, but how? And I just kept walking, and then I realized dogs can hear at a level that humans cannot, right? So I assumed that this dog person, they don't have owners, they have people, this dog person had some kind of special whistle that would go over 1 mile to let those dogs know it was time to turn around and come back to where they started. And I wanted to go back and talk to him about it, but then I would have probably not gotten into my car at a time. That's guidance, right, from him. If a person with a whistle in the woods can do that, what can Spirit do for us? You know, how much guidance can we get that might be beyond our hearing, might not seem like it's in the physical, but it's there. It's those nudges, I think. It's when we sit and put pen to paper and try to just write and let things come out. It's when we pray. It's when we meditate. It's when we ask God whether we can throw an apple out the window or not, or where is our next step, or should I do this or that, and maybe see which hand feels lighter. All the different techniques and healing things that we have and learn to do, it's all there, and it's all guidance, and it's all Spirit, because we are all Spirit, and you are all Spirit, and know that in this day and in the days ahead, whatever you ask for, you will receive an answer of some kind. And know that Spirit is always with you. And you are loved. And your light is so bright. This room is just glowing. Take a look around. Look at all that glow. And so it is. Thank you. Music. During meditation, we'll take about 2 minutes of deep quiet. I'll tell you when that time feels right. And at that time, you can just go really into the quiet. I love it because it's a time when perhaps we hear the voice of God or get those nudges or ideas. But right now, let's just center however you feel comfortable. Perhaps with your feet on the floor. If you're watching from home, too, just relax. If you're outside, to feel the energy from Mother Earth coming up. Those ions and electrons just healing, blessing you. We put away anything that might be on our mind or it's been traveling heavy on our hearts. Let that go for now. Think of our breath. Taking in breaths just as big as we are comfortable and then letting them go. Know that in this space, in this quiet time, you can send love and light and blessings to someone that's on your mind or on your heart. You can pose a question to Spirit, the infinite all that is, God, whatever your name is for it. You can ask for guidance. As we breathe, feel the energy and the love and the light, the divinity of all that is in all that you are. We go deeper into the quiet, knowing that our questions will be answered. If not in this moment, in the days or time ahead, maybe on the whisper of the wind, a passage from a book, a lyric on the radio, a deep sense of Spirit giving guidance and wisdom. In that silence now. We give thanks for this quiet time. We are grateful for our ability to turn within and rest in the silence and bask in the light that we are. Bringing ourselves back to the moment, perhaps with a stretch. And so it is.
Got a square dance now. Come on back up.
Gotcha.
Thank you so much, Reverend Bronte. That was awesome. Really appreciate you. That's fantastic. feel like I should still be in meditation. Feel like that? That was good, huh? So now's the time in our service, now that you're relaxed. Now is the time in our service where we give you the opportunity to give back. So you've heard me say up here a lot that money is energy, right? It's a reciprocal energy. But the thing about it is, when you give of your time, your talents, and your resources, it always comes back to you multiplied. That's the power of the universe. It's incredible the way it happens. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over, right? So say it with me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, and I receive in abundance.
Flow, Spirit, flow through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding peace. Show, Spirit, show through me as I open up to be an expression of your unfolding love.
Father, Mother God, we just thank you for this abundance. We thank you for the givers and the gifts. We thank you for your blessings. We thank you for your multiplication. And so it is. Amen. I'm going to switch up mics and get my teleprompter out here. Get back to it. Just a few announcements before we wrap it up. By the way, Reverend Bronte, God always lets me throw out my apple cores. I compost all over the Southeast. I'm an expert at it. Banana peels, people, whatever I'm not, using at the moment. All right. So first up, on Thursday of next week, the Wellness Warriors group will meet here at the church at 12 noon. This is a confidential support group for people dealing with health challenges. So if you want to attend there, it's always open. You see Eric, he's heading it up. So on Thursday evening, Amanda Neufeld will lead her belly dancing class again. And guys, again, I'm sorry, we got no alternative for you. You just gotta bite the bullet. Please note that this class is open to beginners as well, and the cost is $15 a person. We have new activities that are starting in September, which is next Sunday, as a matter of fact. This month's gone by really quick, hasn't it? The first is Sunday morning meditation that will take place at, I think we got it at 9:15. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, 9:15 a.m. We'll start Sunday morning meditation. Eric Miller and Mona Petro will conduct the meditation sessions, which will deliberately focus inward to bring about feelings of calm and heightened spiritual energy and awareness. Thank y'all for doing that. That's going to be awesome. On the second Sunday of every month following fellowship, we are starting up a Power of 8 prayer group beginning September 8th. They will be meeting in the bookstore library in the back here to hold positive vision for the future of our country. We will also begin a new spirit group class series that will be facilitated by Nicole Wellington on Zoom. It is scheduled for Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m., September 8th. It is called Path of Conscious Creation, and it is a 6-week series based on videos by Reverend Michael Gott. Gott, is that right? who is senior minister of Unity of Houston. And we can, there's a sign-up sheet on the back table back there. Next week, our guest speaker will be me. Calm down, folks. I'm going to share a sentence about the topic because it tells me to here. We'll be talking about spiritual law. So, quick and dirty. As many of you know, the Unity Movement is foremost and always a prayer ministry. The prayer chaplains are available for personal prayer today, and they will be Margaret Dexter. She will be available for prayer in the back office for you. Thank you, Miss Margaret. I appreciate that. We hope you'll stay and join us for the potluck today. If you're able to, please lend a hand in setting up the tables and chairs. We do have a little bit limited space, so we'll be clearing this out, setting up tables for you guys to come back and eat with, okay? Thank you so much for being here, and have an awesome afternoon.
God is, and all is well.